This world so cold that I keep it just chillin'. This world so cold that I keep it just chillin'. I'm on my back and I'm on my skrilla. I hang with the gang and I hang with the killers. Yeah. This world so cold that I keep it just chillin'.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Take Podcast. I'm your host, Jackson Burleson, of course. And in today's episode, Skyler Blaine is back on the podcast. Talk some hoops. We got a lot to unpack for this podcast. First of all, I want to bring up the All-Star Game starters. Steph Curry is not a starter in the All-Star Game. What are your initial thoughts on that?
Well, I'm pretty sure the NBA is fan-based, right? The voting for the starters. So he got outvoted, correct? Is that?
But I think SGA.
Yes, yeah.
The Thunder. He got voted.
I think if you look at it from an unbiased point of view, take legacy away, and you look at the Thunder, they're up and coming. They're having a really good year, and SGA is the best scorer on that team.
Balling, bro.
He's the best scorer on that team. So I'm not mad at it by any means, but I will make this point. And if LeBron is in the NBA All-Star Game and his record is very identical to the Warriors.
Yeah, and he's a starter as well.
He's a starter. So, I mean, at this point, the NBA All-Star Game is just a popularity contest, which it's always been. So, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, you're right about that. I mean, it's not like NBA All-Team or anything like that. No. But, I mean, it still shows you're a great player in the league. But some of it, like Damian Lillard's an all-star starter for the East. And, like.
For scoring, not for defense.
I agree. Yeah, no defense being played.
At all.
Bro, so Doc Rivers coached his first game against the Nuggets with the Bucks. They lost, but like, do you think it's going to make a positive impact on the team, or do you think it's going to make like no headway at all, like previously?
If Giannis is happy, that's all that matters. I mean, in reality, if Giannis is signing off on the coach, which he wasn't doing with Adrian Griffin, as long as your best player is happy, regardless on who's, running scheme or calling plays, you just want your star player happy. And then,
facts.
And let's be honest here, it's more about managing personalities. And I feel like Doc would be better suited to manage a Giannis, a Dame, and players like that than have an Adrian Griffin who's constantly getting in these scuffles. And mismanaging his
But
players.
do you think, like, since Doc Rivers has had, like, star-studded players before, and, like, as of late, like, he's a choke artist. Like, as of recently, he is a choke artist. Like, do you really think he can put the Bucks over the hump and get Giannis the second ring? Because, I mean, personally, I don't think so. I don't think he's that big of a difference maker, if you ask me.
I don't really think – what head coach in the NBA – are you going, man, he's a key part of that team?
Eric Spoelstra of the Miami Heat. 100%. He's the exact key piece.
Hold on. What has Eric Spoelstra done?
Dude, no, you did not just ask me that.
What has Eric Spoelstra done?
Taking us to the finals twice in the last 4 years. That's exactly what he's done.
Is that an honorable mention?
But that's what he's done. He's been consistent. He's made the playoffs like almost every year except for 2017.
Has he won a chip without LeBron?
Bro, but it's like, okay, no, he has not, to answer your question. But here's the thing. Like, when you take a player like LeBron James away from that team, like, we're obviously going to have a drop. Like, that's just how it is. You take any star player off a roster, a coach is not going to be nearly as successful. That's just how the NBA works, and that's how sports work in general.
I agree with you that Eric Spoelstra is a good coach.
But he's a great coach. Like, with the talent he has on the team, like, the Heat are not the most talented roster. Especially last year, we shouldn't have made the finals. We lost the playing game. And I'm a Heat fan saying this.
I can't.
Yes, you can.
I cannot. You think that roster is that talented?
Bro, look at it. Like, okay, I get it. Jimmy Butler's there. Doesn't show up during the regular season. We have Terry Rozier. We just picked him up. Like, Tyler Hero. Like, he's a 20-point-per-game scorer. Plays no defense. And then Bam Adebayo.
Okay. So,
who's the best player on the roster?
Yeah. That roster.
I just named you 4 guys.
That roster plays great team defense. And
that's all because of the scheme Spoelstra has.
I am not a – so you're a big Heat culture guy.
Of course I am.
Okay.
That's the whole reason.
And
that
this is
we're
where I'm
good.
going to stop it. And this is where I'm going to stop it. Heat culture.
Heat culture is why we made the finals last year, not being the most star-studded team in the NBA.
No. Why you made those finals last year?
We shouldn't have been there.
Why you made the finals last year is because you played great team defense and you guys were gelling at the right time.
And guess what?
What?
You know, guess what?
Where did heat culture come from? Where did it come from?
Team defense, you're just proving my point.
No,
that's all because
that's not
of the
proving a point.
coaching scheme in place that Spoelstra has. That's the whole reason why we were that successful is because of the coaching. 100%. You can't sit here and deny that.
I can absolutely deny that because there's a myth of heat culture.
What do you mean there's a myth?
So there's a thing going on.
Explain.
Okay, I will explain.
There's definitely not a myth.
LeBron James went on record this year saying that if he wouldn't have gone to Miami, that he still would have had the same type of career, right?
No, he would not.
Okay, hold on. Let me finish.
No, he would not.
Let me finish, right?
The 4 years LeBron was there, that was like LeBron's college.
LeBron,
he even admitted that.
LeBron, not recently. LeBron went there to understand what it took to be a champion. I agree with that, right? But there's a difference between learning from a guy like Dwayne Wade and learning from the roast of Pat Riley to if LeBron doesn't go there, either does Chris Bosh, and quite frankly, Dwayne Wade's
That's not true.
leaving.
Chris Bosh was going to go there anyways.
It's documented.
Chris Bosh was going there anyways, bro.
It's documented.
Bosh signed before LeBron did.
Yes,
when LeBron made his decision, Bosh was signed.
They all knew they were going there, bro. LeBron.
And originally, before Bosh signed, it was going to be Melo, LeBron, and Wade.
If LeBron would have went to Chicago, Dwayne would have followed. Chris would have followed. If LeBron would have went to New York, Dwayne would have followed. Chris would have followed.
I don't think that would have been true.
Well, it's documented. They were even talking about it.
And I don't think D Wade would have left Miami.
Dwayne Wade, come on.
I don't think he would have.
Come on. Dwayne.
Not at that point in his career. Especially he has a ring already. He wouldn't have left.
After the Olympics, they all planned on getting together to play. That plan started way before LeBron got in front of a huge national broadcast and told everybody he was taking his talents to South Beach. That was happening whether you liked it or not. LeBron came there. If LeBron doesn't go there, there is no championships. But LeBron has proven without Spoelstra and heat culture that he's won in Cleveland and he's won in LA.
Okay, I'm not dismissing that. You're getting into completely different points.
No, it's not. I'm saying heat culture
Spoelstra is not the key to everything.
Spoelstra's not essential. Just like Mike Malone's not essential.
He's essential.
Coaching.
Spoelstra is the only guy in the NBA I could say as a coach that he's essential.
What makes Phil Jackson such a great coach?
Because he had great players. I'll say that right now.
Okay.
You have to have good players.
There's my point.
You have to have, but like I'm not. But Eric Spoelstra, outside of LeBron,
hasn't done
right now. He does not have a Michael Jordan caliber player. Right now, he does not have that. We can sit here and admit. I can't believe I'm even arguing this as a Heat fan. This is ridiculous. I shouldn't even be arguing this. This is a clear, obvious fact.
Let's go to the next topic.
Okay.
We're going to disagree.
I'm not going to get this guy to swing heat culture. It exists. Okay, what doesn't exist, possibly, is Joel Embiid not even getting the MVP. He's 4 games away, and he just got injured again last night from being eligible from MVP. Mm-hmm. And if you ask me, I'm okay with that because I really don't want him to get MVP again. I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he should be more of a front runner. The man's averaging like 31 points per game, shooting 52% of the field, bro. Like, man's been an absolute baller. And it's crazy to say that over Jokic, but I mean, bro, like, SGA, bro, he's taking this Thunder team to another level. Like, he really is. They're third in the West. Mm-hmm. They're winning games. It's been a long time since the Thunder have been winning like this. Mm-hmm. Like, ever since Westbrook left, they haven't really had a team like this that has a legit chance to contend in the Western Conference, who is just absolutely loaded.
They're young, and they care about the regular season.
But here's the thing. Like, I get it. Like, caring about the regular season is not really a big thing anymore.
That's a young
yeah, it's a young team.
Yeah.
It's a young team, but I think they're well coached. They have depth. I think they have a chance to at least make the conference finals. They don't get out.
They don't get out.
That's their ceiling. That's their ceiling.
No, their ceiling is second round.
I don't think that's
so. They're better than the Kings.
Yeah, the Thunder are better than the Kings. 100%. 100%.
They're better than
the Kings lost to the Warriors. multiple times.
We're talking about the regular season.
That doesn't matter. The Warriors may not even make the playoffs.
It does matter because 2 playing teams made it to the championship last year. It does matter. No one cares. I hate to say it. The NBA has become...
2 playing teams didn't make the championship last year.
Well, 2 playing teams made the conference finals, which means they had the Heat and the Lakers. They had trash regular seasons, and then went and tore apart the playoffs.
Well,
The regular season, it's almost like baseball now. I don't adjust who's going to be good until I actually see them in playoff mode. Because playoff basketball is half court. It's cutting down turnovers. It's more than flash and what.
But here's the thing you're missing though, because like the Thunder, like they're not the most flashy team in the league.
They're young.
SGA, but what does that mean though?
It means
You're
they're
not as experienced.
Well, they're young, they're athletic, and they care about playing every single night. These older teams don't give a crap. They don't care. They show up on a back-to-back and they don't give a crap. When the playoffs come and the lights shine the brightest, you see the same group of guys that you see every year.
Okay.
You do.
I mean,
tell me I'm wrong.
I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong, but
I like this.
I'm dismissing your take because I think the Thunder are ready to go. I think they will.
The Thunder they're great ready right now.
They're like the T-Wolves. They're exactly like the T-Wolves. They're a young team. They haven't played much playoff basketball. They're just like the T-Wolves. They're in that same kind of position where they're young, but they don't have a lot of experience. And you're telling me right now the T-Wolves can't make it to the conference finals, at least have a chance? Like both of these teams ceilings are conference finals.
Hold on. The comparison you made, though, to me, one team has playoff experience, and they played last year, and they were the only team in the Western Conference. I think they were the only team to win a game on Denver in the playoffs, all the way up until the finals. I could be misspoken there, but I'm pretty sure the Lakers got swept. I'm pretty sure the series prior they swept.
Well, didn't the Nuggets lose to the Suns in 6 games? I'm pretty sure they lost in 6 games. I'm pretty sure the Suns got 2 games.
The Suns got 2 games?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Suns got 2 games.
I know for a fact that
it was
obviously
in the second round.
But the Timberwolves, in terms of plus minus in the point differential, they were neck and neck with the Nuggets. They were neck. The point I'm trying to make is this: we're going way out base here.
I'm just giving the Thunder a chance.
Yeah, I like the Thunder. I'm not crapping on them, but I've seen teams like this. The Grizzlies, right? The Grizzlies, the same thing. They had the best regular season record. They had a 2 seed and a 1 seed the year prior, or a 2 seed.
But that's a whole other conversation. Outside of Ja, what is their roster?
Outside of SGA and Anthony Edwards, what's the depth on that roster? I like Chet Holmgren. He's gonna be a great player to come, but he's not ready yet.
Jalen Williams, dog, absolute stud.
We're disagreeing a lot.
Giddy stud.
Giddy's a stud,
dude. He's not bad. He's a pretty good role player. He can shoot. He can create his own shot. Like in this modern day NBA, all you need is to be surrounded by shot creators. You have to have guys who can go get their own bucket at all times. That's how skilled the NBA is now. And let's pivot into this conversation. So we had Luka drop 73, Cat dropped 62, and B dropped 70, and Booker dropped 62. Like, there's a lot of high scoring games. But do you think by any measure it's ruining the NBA at this current moment? No pride in defense.
I'm not going to go to the extent of saying that there is no pride on defense. I'm going to say the NBA has had the most skill it's ever seen in the history of the NBA. There's 5 or 6 guys in any team, like to your point, that can go get a bucket and create a shot. I'm not impressed with the 70-point games. In the past, I think it was the last 5 or 6 people or 3 people to do it. It was all within a 2-year span. So what does that tell you, right? So D. Mitchell did it last year. Right, 71.
Yeah, Dame did it last year too.
What did they do in the playoffs? They didn't make it, and the Cavaliers. I don't like scoring to me in the regular season. And you watched the Luka one, right?
Yeah, that was impressive.
It was impressive.
Man only missed 8 shots.
Yeah,
in that.
But you got
that was efficient.
You got Trae Young guarding you. I mean, what do you absolutely?
I don't think Trae Young was
on
really
4
guarding.
or 5 of those clips that I saw. Trae Young was guarding.
Man, the Hawks are dumb because they shouldn't be putting Trae Young on Luka. It's a complete mismatch. Luka is bigger. Trae Young's too small, bro. He's too little against Luka. He's too little.
I'm not big on the high scoring games because the same guys that are scoring all these points, like they're not gonna make it deep into the playoffs.
The only guy I can make an exception for is Luka because he has been to the conference finals and he has showed up in the playoffs. Everyone else, I mean, we can say whatever we want to say.
Joel has a track record.
No, he's terrible.
Yeah,
in the playoffs.
yeah.
That's what I'm waiting on for him.
D Book made it to a finals. So
yeah, but he had games, but then he had a game where he scored like 10 points. So like he didn't show up when he needed to.
I'm not big on the 70-point games and like giving it clout. Like, cool, awesome. Thank you for telling me that you don't like to pass the ball.
Do you think Kobe's 81 will be broken this year?
This year, no. I mean, unless they're really just out here trying to break records. I mean, honestly, again, the scoring record back when Kobe did it and back when Will did it.
It was impressive.
It was impressive.
Yeah, it was impressive.
Because you're out there getting mauled. Now it's like it's
become a norm.
If I do this, it's a foul. If I look at the ref the wrong way, it's a foul.
Yeah.
So, I mean, awesome. Score 70 points and then talk to me in the playoffs when you get bounced and then people forget.
That's one thing I don't like at all is like the NBA now is just like not physical. It's just like a softer game now. Like it's just like you can't do certain things that like it's just like you shouldn't be getting teed up for like, you know, a celebration. Like it's just not making the game fun though. Like the game's supposed to be fun, right?
You can't talk in the NFL. You can't talk in basketball.
Dumb,
you can't talk in baseball. I mean, you get a.
But taunting's a celebration to the fans. I mean, really?
I mean, that's just the war we live in, though. You can't do anything.
I don't like it. It just makes the game not fun.
I used to watch baseball back when I really cared about baseball, and Jose Bautista for the Blue Jays did the most disrespectful
the bat flip. Yeah,
you can't do that now.
Yeah,
you'll get tossed. So what they've done is brought pre-K, what was it called?
Well, no, they're trying to make it a gentleman's game. That's exactly what they're trying to make.
It's intramural rules.
They're trying to put golf etiquette in basketball.
I feel like I'm playing AAU. I'm watching AAU. A kid cusses, technical foul, bad words. So I mean, it just depends on what you want to look at. I mean. I like the taunting. I like when they get disrespectful.
No, I do too because it just puts a little more flavor on the game.
When you disrespect somebody after you just did something ridiculous,
like a poster,
yeah, it's a mental advantage.
Yeah,
it really you watch the games with KG for the Celtics. Oh my God, bro, that man came from Melo's wife. You know what I'm saying? They used to be disrespectful, and that gave you a mental advantage. And now it's just kind of like
it's like
wait, did you just say something? Like the ref will look at you and go. Did you just give me attitude? Tech on 23. Look at me the wrong way. Yep. But I'm not going to lie.
Well, the tee-up is like just a way to be like, hey, you can't do that.
Establish dominance. No, it's not that you can't do that. It's ego. It's ego-driven.
Yes. Let's
be honest. It's ego-driven. Let's move on. I love
let's move on. I got a question. So this is a Would You Rather Anthony Edwards edition.
Oh, I love this.
Okay, so rapid fire questions.
All right, go.
Would you rather Anthony Edwards edition and Joel Embiid or Anthony Edwards?
Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards?
Yep.
What about Luka? Luka or Anthony Edwards?
Oh, man, I got to go Anthony Edwards.
What? No way. No way, bro.
They're two different players. They're two different players.
Luka is more of a bucket than Ant.
Yeah, but Anthony Edwards plays defense. So there's that.
Luka can shoot.
Anthony Edwards can do it all.
Is he a better passer than Luka? No.
No.
Is he a better rebounder?
Yes.
I think so. I
think so.
I don't think so. I think Luka's better at getting positions for as unathletic as he is. Okay, next one.
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards or Tatum?
JT.
Okay, that was expecting you to go the other way. SGA or Anthony Edwards?
Anthony Edwards.
Devin Booker, Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards.
Okay, so is Anthony Edwards a top 10 player right now?
If I were to do my rankings, I'd have him one behind Tatum.
Behind Tatum?
Yeah, one behind Tatum.
I think with the way he's playing right now, yeah, I'd probably have to agree with you on that.
JT immediately came into the league. It had an extreme impact on winning. And Anthony Edwards took about, 2 years? To start winning at a high clip. Yeah. JT pulled up his rookie year, dunked on LeBron in the Eastern Conference Finals. So I got to give it to him. I really do. I don't like the Celtics. I'm not a big Boston guy. But JT came in. He was a dog. And people were going to come at the finals, playoff shortcomings. It's like, you want to bring up one player's playoff shortcomings, but we want to, not talk about Jordan's comings, LeBron's shortcomings. You got to give guys time to learn how to win. Anthony Edwards great story this year, my MVP candidate, but JT's just a different specimen.
Yeah, JT's a bucket, bro.
Yeah, he is.
Like, I was watching the Pacers and Celtics last night, and, bro, like, initial thoughts on that, bro. Pacers are a team to be looking out for, bro. They're dangerous. Like, they got a squad, bro. They got Siakam now. They got Halliburton, who's leading the league in assists. Turner, Jalen Smith, bro. They got some depth. Like, they got some good. Buddy Hield. They got shooting.
It all comes down to what you do in the playoffs.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. And last night, like, the Pacers were down by like 15 points a half, came back and almost beat the Celtics with that much depth. I mean, I know it's the regular season, but, like, still, we're getting a sneak peek. Like, I want to see a 7-game series between the Pacers and Celtics. That would be interesting, bro.
And the Celtics will sweep them.
I don't think they would sweep. The Pacers are too good of a team to get swept. I'm sorry, bro. They just are. Maybe 6 games. But
I saw the Brooklyn Nets with Kyrie and KD James Harden gets swept by Boston.
Because they got no defense and they had no depth on that team. You got to remember, bro, they had no bench.
Playoff
they had
basketball.
No bench, bro.
We're talking playoff basketball.
But in playoff basketball, you have to have guys that can come off the bench and contribute. And the Pacers have that. And the Nets that year, bro, they did not have that. They did not have a bench, bro. They did not have a bench. Everybody knows that.
Pacers will get knocked down in the first round.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say you're wrong on that take. I mean, that's not a bad take, but I think the Pacers could definitely compete.
Young team.
Yeah, they got
a future. Talent. Yeah. I love the talent. Yeah, I mean, if we're just talking about like honorable mentions, teams that are up and coming, it's a wholly different topic. Because then I agree with you. The Thunder are up and coming. The Pacers are up and coming. The T-Wolves are up and coming. But when you go into the playoffs, I mean, we can even equivalent to the NFL this year. Everyone thought Mahomes and those guys were cooked. And then when you go into that environment where you have to win, you have no other option but to win. These guys, not everyone's built like that. And I know that in the Eastern Conference, I got my money on the Bucks and I got my money on the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. Those are my two.
Yeah.
And every other team, cool, have the story for the regular season. That's awesome. But it's like talking about the Rays in the MLB. Great regular season, man. They're so great. And they go to the playoffs and they get hiney smacked.
Well, I mean, we've seen like great regular seasons, like 73 win Warrior team and they don't win the chip.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Shots the block.
You know,
yeah,
it happens. It definitely happens. I wanted to bring this up. So, what did you think? We can play the soundbite
because the refs did not give us no calls tonight. We had to play through every bump, every grab. I don't know how we won tonight. Big shout out to my team. Big shout out to my coaches for sure.
Anthony Edwards said after a game that they shouldn't have won. They were like, he was like saying like they shouldn't have won the game. Like, do you think that's a lack of confidence, or do you think that's just like him saying like, oh, the refs we got lucky with all the bad calls or the missed calls?
Well, I think from a player perspective, you look at it, maybe he felt that's his way of saying we could have played better. Instead of looking at it from I don't have confidence in my team, it's like, almost he didn't feel satisfied with the way he got the dub. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, that makes complete sense. Another question. This is rapid fire. Who makes it farther in the playoffs, the Pacers or the Mavericks this year?
Mavs. That's not even like a Mavs all day.
Do you think so? What do you think what's the Mavs ceiling? Finals.
Yeah, finals.
I would love to see Kyrie and Luka get there. That'd be magic.
When you have a guy like Luka, like he brought Dinwiddie, Finley Smith.
Bro, they almost 50-pieced the Sun.
Yeah, yeah. So like for me,
that was bad.
As long as you got 77 on the basketball court, anything can happen.
I think like there's like gonna come a point in time which like Jason Kidd like said this, which is like I thought it was a crazy comment. He said like Luka is in the realm of Jordan.
I think what he means by that is the mentality and him being a dog is like Jordan. I'm not saying when players make those comps, it was the same thing when Mark Jackson said when he was coaching the Warriors, I have the best shooting backcourt in the league ever. I've never seen one better. And they came after that man for saying that. And then guess what? 5-6 years later, you're talking about the Splash Brothers being the best backcourt of all time. So you got to look at it from the perspective of, okay, J. Kidd played point guard at the highest level in this game. And if anything, he's giving him a compliment saying he gives you that Jordan, that aura. That,
he also said he surpassed Dirk, too.
100%.
Without a ring?
You got to, with the ring chasing and the ring watching.
Dirk beat a big three in Miami. I think he needs a ring, bro.
That team was stacked. Dirk,
and Dirk beat him.
Yeah, but the team beat them. Dirk was the MVP, and Dirk played outstanding, and he was giving Bosh buckets. But that team was built to win, and they got, and I'm going to quote you here, but Spoelstra got out-coached by Rick Carlisle. That was an out-coach job all day. But it's not just Dirk. If you want to start a team right now, Dirk or Luka, are you really going to go Dirk or Luka? What do you need?
Nah.
What do you need?
Nah.
If we're asking the question,
but if we're talking like legacy standpoint, then no.
Yeah, of course. And if that's the case, then Bill Russell's the best player of all time because he has 11 of them. But we both know that's not the case. So, nah, man, I'd rather have starting the team. I'd rather have Luka. 100%. I'd rather have Luka. Just like I'd rather have Tim Duncan over Dirk.
Yeah, that's a pretty easy one, I think. I don't think there's much debate there.
No.
What else should we talk about here? What else should we segue into?
Let me get this top 5 players in the NBA because you've been saying a lot of sus things today. So I need you to know your top.
That's all you, bro.
I need your top 5 players in the NBA.
Okay. Number 1, Jokic. Number 2, Steph. Number 3, Giannis. Number 4, Luka. Number 5, Embiid.
Huh. So Jokic, we'll start with Jokic, right? I'll give you that Jokic is probably the one. I'll give you that, right? But I'm just basing it upon this year, strictly this year, and the way, just for people at home to understand how I base things, legacy matters, but impact on winning at the current level. That's how I adjust my rankings. So I would go right now, I'd go Jokic 1, Tatum 2, Giannis 3, Luka 4, and Steph my 5. Because I'm not going to throw them out of the top 5.
Yeah, you can't.
They can't.
You can't.
They can't throw out of the top 5. But,
you can't do it. Steph's impact on winning, even though the Warriors aren't winning,
yeah,
he's still
Steph.
He's keeping them afloat.
He's still in his prime, but I'm still going to give Tatum his flowers, and I'm going to give Giannis his flowers. But Tatum, they had the best record in the Eastern Conference. So, and you take Tatum off that team, they do not have the best record in the Eastern Conference. Just like if you take Jokic off that team, they don't have the best, they're not championship
You think
contenders.
Tatum's better than Giannis?
At the current moment, 100%.
What is
it? Giannis is a better defender, and Giannis is a better rebounder. He's a better blocker. But Giannis, they traded to get Dame, in reality, to space the floor. Who does that benefit?
Giannis. Because he can drive and kick.
JT doesn't need you to go trade for anybody.
Because he can shoot.
He'll get a bucket anywhere across the floor. So if you
see what you're saying with that, but Giannis is just so dominant. Like, I just can't. I see your argument with Tatum. I definitely think he should, like, I agree, like, he's in your top 5, but I feel like I would put him below Giannis, just personally. I put him in there.
One beat them last year, or one beat them most recently to go to the NBA Finals. And Giannis has been on the outside looking in the past 2 years. So the way I adjust that is if somebody, like same thing with Jason Tatum. Last year in the Game 7 of the NBA Finals, he dropped the highest scoring Game 7. I think it was like 56 points, right? So beat Embiid, Game 7, showed up. Year prior, Game 6 on the road in Milwaukee, dropped a 50-piece on Giannis. That's how I adjust it. Who's gotten you last? The same way you adjust Patty over Lamar, even though Lamar's the MVP this year, we both know who the better quarterback is. So that's the way I adjust it. Who's had your number when the lights shine the brightest? And I'd go JT. I am very high on JT, but
I agree with you to a certain degree. I mean, our top 5s are different. I mean, I got Embiid in there, but
what does Embiid do that wows it?
Well, it's just like if you take him off that team, it's just like Sixers are kind of garbage.
If you take JT off the Celtics, are garbage. If you take
but they're not completely garbage. They still got Brown, Porzingis. They still got Drew Holiday.
Bro, Jaylen Brown can't go left, and that man's a walking turnover.
But Jaylen Brown's still pretty solid.
Yeah, he's not worth $319 million.
No, that I agree with.
That's what they paid him. What are you giving JT? What you
I
better
don't know.
give him?
They better be giving him
$400 million.
They better be. That contract thing was so weird because like I didn't understand like why they were so like why they had to pay Brown that much. Like what? Like you mentioned the turnovers. Like yeah, that's been a big problem for him.
Can't go left. Can't dribble with his left, and he's a.
I think is like it's just like him like in the post. Like it's just like his game's so sus down there. Like it's just like he just has a turnaround. He doesn't really have any post game. He doesn't really have any moves down there. Like he just kind of pulls up over your head, which is like weird. But
he's a slashing shot creator, is the way I describe him. He's a slashing shot creator who's great around the rim, plays some good on-ball defense. I'll give him that. But the turnovers kill me. The shot selection is like, why would you? I don't like when he takes critical shots over JT. It's kind of like that Russell Westbrook KD dynamic where it's like, why are you the guy? Like, why are you the guy taking that shot? You know what I'm saying? Like, those aren't your lines. So you got a bad movie script. You know what I'm saying? And someone comes out and the scripts get mixed up, and then you got one guy reading Bradley Cooper's his script, and the other guy reading Jonah Hill's. Like, hey, Jonah, that ain't.
It's like it's just like you got two guys trying to be Batman.
Yeah, they're not. Jaylen Brown is a Robin. That's what he is to me, and he's getting paid the richest Robin in the world, which is $3.9. I want you sent me down that rabbit hole, bro. I'll never come back. That's the worst contract in the NBA.
In the NBA,
that is the worst. Him and Rudy Gobert are the two.
I think Rudy's probably worse.
Yeah. Those are the worst contracts in the NBA. And not only that, the Celtics had a really good opportunity to. They should have been in the Dame running.
Yeah, they should have.
I would have dropped Jaylen.
But honestly, like I think like just defensively, I think it benefits them not to have Dame because they got Drew Holiday, who's a perfect two-way guard who can still create his own shot. Like things like that. Like you still got to have those things in place, especially for like the way the Celtics are trying to play. Their defense all day. Like they really strive on the other end of the ball, especially on offense as well. But I think Drew Holiday, he's the glue guy. He gets everyone going. He gets everyone involved. He's a perfect complement to Tatum, 100%. And even Brown,
he's a good
even Porzingis. Like
he's a great middleman.
Yeah, it's like I think honestly for the scheme of that team, I think Holiday fits better with them than Dame would have. My personal opinion, like who are you? Like Holiday has no weaknesses. Like when it comes to a point guard, he can play defense. He can lock up any guy you put in front of him. We've seen that. We've seen that in the finals. We've seen that in the playoffs. Yeah, Holiday shows up, and we've never seen. When was the last time we saw Dame in the playoffs?
What's the last time you saw Steph lock up somebody?
But Steph's never been really known for a defender. Now I give him credit; he has improved. He can lock somebody up for a decent amount, but he's never been a defender. But he's been an average defender in the last like 3-4 years.
So you're saying,
and Holiday is by far the best defender when it comes to point guard position.
You're saying schematically,
yes, he fits better.
He fits better. Yes,
he fits way better.
But in my opinion, I would still rather have Dame even on Boston.
And that's why I wanted Drew Holiday to come to the Heat because he would have fit perfectly with that roster. Just what we're trying to do. We're a defensive-minded team. We play small ball. He would have fit. He would have fit perfect with that. Like that would have been a perfect match, and I would have just loved that. But we got Terry Rozier, which hold on, I need to pick a bone with my Heat real quick because I've been giving Spoelstra all these praise, but we're on a 7-game losing streak right now. We're getting blown out left and right. I swear, every time I watch the Heat, bro, we're getting blown out. And I mean, I'm like, every time I turn on the TV, I'm like, all right, man, yeah, we got another Heat game going on. Like, I'm so excited. Then in the second quarter, I want to turn it off because we're getting blown out by 30 points to the Raptors. And then on Saturday night, 3:30 ABC primetime, we're getting blown out by the Knicks. By the Knicks. Bro, what are we doing? And then we get blown out by the Suns the other night, which, no defense. Bro, Jimmy Butler, bro. This man, just absolutely is a ghost in the regular season. He's a ghost. He's a complete ghost. He puts in like 25%, not even 30%.
Think about it.
Not even 30.
Wouldn't you be, though? Wouldn't you be when you knew if you finished in the top
15? But, dog, 15 points, I mean, and then you go from like, bro, like, you got to do better.
What elite team still cares about winning in the regular season?
But at least act like you, like, are giving 50%. He's not even acting like that right now. He's passing the ball way too much.
He's been the best player in the playoffs.
But it's the same situation as last year, which, like, I mean, yeah, we're on a 7-game losing streak.
I'm worried.
Okay.
I don't know why we're worried because
I'm worried because we're getting blown out. We're getting blown out.
But Spoelstra's this great coach, and he culture. And
okay, no, stop it. Just stop it.
And he culture.
No. He culture. Man. Do you see that on the court, man? He culture's there, dude. He culture. It's been a thing. It's been a thing. You just don't want to admit it because we've made it to the finals the last 4 years. You're just upset that your team hasn't been there. It's okay.
I have a team in the NBA.
It's okay.
I have a team in the NBA. Because why would you be loyal to a team that players jump in and out from?
But it's okay, though. Like, we made the finals last 4 years.
Where's the hardware? Where are the chips?
Well, we have 3 up in the rafters.
Thank you for letting me know you're the next closest loser. Thank you. First place. You're the first team they realize, you're the first team that lost. Would you rather day 500? Are you walking around going, hey, man, I got second, dog. It's all good, dog. I got second, dog. They got those? Where do they sell those at? They sell those participation trophies? That's crazy. Eat culture. Yeah.
Dude, stop. You're going to regret clowning on eat culture. Okay, the GOAT debate. Since you want to start picking out my bones here.
Yeah, okay. Let's go. Go
the GOAT debate.
Yeah, go.
First of all, I want to ask you this question. Mm-hmm. And I need a simple, honest answer. Mm-hmm. And there's only one right answer to this question.
Okay.
Who's the GOAT in the NBA? Who's the GOAT? Who's the greatest player of all time to step on a court?
You don't want to go there.
Who's the greatest player to step on a court?
You don't want to go there.
Who is it?
Why are we going there?
Because you're coming in my new culture, man. I got to go there.
You know.
That's the only button I can push, dude.
Are you talking about dissecting a player through the whole scope, or is this going to be a conversation where I have to hear 6-0 in the finals and 6 rings? Because if that's the way it's going, I'm going to dodge that.
I can tell you right.
I can tell you that I'm going to dodge that because it's not.
Well, I can tell you right now, it's not going to be that conversation.
Okay. Well, no.
Rings are not going to be a part of this.
So rings are out of it. Are we going to do competition during their time? Are we going to do...
Well, I mean, yeah, we could totally do competition during the time. 100%.
Okay, well, we're going to out then it's a LeBron all day.
It's Jordan all day, bro. Do you know who this man played? Do you want me to name the list of players that Jordan has beaten in his career?
I don't know if you want to go this route, but go ahead and throw
Reggie Miller, Patrick Ewing, Karl Malone, John Stockton, Clyde Drexler, Magic Johnson, James Worthy, Gary Payton, Sean Kemp, Charles Barkley, Lonzo Mourning, Glenn Rice. Prevented all those Hall of Famers from getting championships. None of those players I just mentioned don't have one chip when Jordan was in the A. The only guy who got a chip was Hakeem because Jordan was not in the A. He wasn't in the A. He got 2 rings. He wasn't in the A.
Name that list again real quick.
I'm not going to name it twice. You can look at the tapes, man.
Okay.
Look at the tapes. I just named countless Hall of Famers. Countless Hall of Famers. And not one of them has a ring, bro. In Jordan's era, not one.
You just named...
Not one.
You named tier 3 of Hall of Famers. That is the tier 3 of Hall of Famers.
No, that's not.
You named John Stockton.
John Stockton's arguably the greatest passer of all time.
I let you go. You got your thing.
He's arguably the greatest passer ever.
Oh, stop it. You got your thing, right? You named Karl Malone, Alonzo Mourning, John Stockton, Gary Payton, Sean Kemp, Reggie Miller, Alonzo Mourning you brought up. That had to be an honorable mention. I don't know why he got brought up.
Because he beat him in the playoffs on his way to the finals.
You mentioned Magic Johnson, which, by the way, he beat at the end of his career. It's
still Magic.
To the end.
Still Magic. Still Magic.
Still Magic? Was it prime Magic? Jordan couldn't touch Bird. He never beat Bird.
Bro, because when he played Bird, it was a second-year league and he dropped 60.
Awesome.
He's 63.
Okay. That's awesome.
Which is still a playoff record.
That's awesome.
FYI.
That's awesome. Okay, so anyways, Couldn't do anything against the Celtics, right?
Second year in the league. His second best player was Bill Cartwright.
If you're going to use that logic, then LeBron gets the same pass. If that logic is good for you, then LeBron gets the same pass. It can not only be good when it fits the narrative.
Okay, but how many rings? How many rings did LeBron allow in his watch? How many rings did he allow in his watch?
On his watch, everyone ate on Jordan's watch. Everybody ate. What do you
Really? Who?
When was Jordan's first ring? What was his first ring?
Well, it was after he beat the Pistons.
When was his first ring?
It was after the Pistons.
What was his first ring?
It was 94.
When did he get drafted?
84.
So 6 years.
84.
6 years, 7 years, excuse me, until he won a chip, right? So that's 7 years of other teams eating. That's on his watch. He's in the NBA, right?
But LeBron got drafted in 2003. 9 years without a chip.
Awesome.
9 years without a chip, bro.
Awesome.
Let's
go back to the list you gave me. You gave me tier 3 Hall of Famers. So you're telling me that your list right here outdoes Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, Tim Duncan, Kawhi Leonard. Let's go team by team. Why don't we? Let's go competition in the finals. Jordan's first year, he beat the Magic. Or not the Magic, excuse me, Magic Johnson and the Lakers, who were all out of their prime. Yeah? Can you admit that? As an unbiased NBA fan? Right? Can you admit that? All out of their prime? Yeah, I'll say it for you.
I still think Magic was I still think Magic was just probably.
Absolutely not. He got diagnosed with HIV 2 years later.
That doesn't affect his play.
It doesn't affect it. Have you played with HIV? How would you know?
No.
How would you know?
But he was still Magic. He was still Showtime.
But we can admit, right? We can admit that they were out of their prime. I'm going to say that. From my subjective opinion, they were out of their prime. So that was Magic Worthy. Was Kareem on that team when he beat him? I don't think so. So Magic Worthy, Byron Scott, and I forget the other guys on that team. So he beat that team, right? Then he went and beat the year after he beat the Lakers. He went and played
Portland.
Clyde and those boys were good, right? Yeah. So I'll give you that. That's and Clyde Drexler's Hall of Famer, right? And then we'll go the year after that. They beat the Suns, Charles Barkley. I can't remember the names on that team too. And then we'll go after that. It's the Suns, and you brought up Gary Payton, Sean Kemp, right?
They're Sonics.
Yeah, Sonics. Gary Payton, Sean Kemp, and then you brought up John Stockton, Carmelo. Yeah. So let's go to LeBron's competition, right? Shall we? First year he got swept. Tony Parker, Bruce Bowen, who's an outstanding defender, Tim Duncan, 5 rings, Manu Ginobili. Yeah, I said Tony Parker already.
You said Tony Parker.
Okay, so that was his first finals appearance. Next one, he had Jason Terry, Jason Kidd, Tyson Chandler, Dirk Nowitzki, J.J. Bryant killed him in that series. So 3 Hall of Famers, right? So we'll go 3 Hall of Famers on the Mavericks, JT, Dirk, and Kidd, because JT's top 3 in shooting most threes of all time. He's a Hall of Famer. He's one of the best shooters of all time. And then you'll go Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and Manu Ginobili, all Hall of Famers. So that's 6 right there, right? Then we'll go from there. He beats the Thunder. Russell Westbrook's an MVP. James Harden's an MVP. Kevin Durant is a Finals MVP. Has hardware. Then the year after that, they lose to they beat the Thunder. Then they beat the Spurs because they went back to back, right?
And then they lost.
You had the same Hall of Famers there. Not going to go. Then they lost to the Spurs after that. And now we'll go head towards the Golden State area, right? Steph Curry, best point guard ever to breathe. Best shooting point guard ever to breathe. Klay Thompson, Hall of Famer. I'm not gonna, you know how I feel about Draymond, so I'm not gonna give it to you. But he'll make it. He'll make it to the Hall, right? Andre Iguodala, Sean Livingston was a baller for those teams. Let's not forget the year after that, they brought over KD. That squad was stacked.
But you're mentioning guys like that, which like
guys you mentioned. All the guys you mentioned in his Hall of Famers, they are.
But you're mentioning but you're acting like some of these teams like back then didn't have like benches. You know what I mean? Like,
but you're acting like the players you mentioned are even in the same gasp, in the same area code as the players LeBron faced. They're not. They are not. John Stockton, bro, stop it. Stop it. I love John Stockton, great for his time, but you're comparing him to a modern day point guard. Like, what are we absolutely talking about?
Well, here's the thing with that. So, John Stockton, if you're going to compare anyone in the modern day, he's like Chris Paul. He's like a Chris Paul with less handles. With less handles. He's like a Chris Paul.
Nothing like Chris Paul.
He's like a Chris Paul with less handles.
Nothing like Chris Paul.
I'm not saying he's exactly like Chris Paul, but he does have a lot of similar passing, shooting.
Who's a better shooter?
Man, that's tough.
How is that tough? John Stockton.
I mean, John Stockton was a laser shot.
All of his highlights.
He was a laser.
John Stockton was a great on-ball defender. He led the league in steals on numerous occasions. John Stockton was a baller, right? But you stack him up to Russell Westbrook, I'm taking Russell. You stack him up to CP3, I'm taking CP3. You stack him up against Derrick Rose, I'm taking Derrick Rose.
But that's just because he's a smaller and unathletic point guard.
No, because the basketball
that's not his role.
Was different back then. Jordan.
Exactly. It was more physical as well, if you want to get into that.
Physicality.
It was way more physical back then.
Could you be physical the same way today like you could in a void less injury? I'll answer it for you. No.
What do you mean void less
Players have evolved. These guys are different.
Sure, but the game has changed, like, from a referee standpoint. It's not just the players are evolving. Now, I will give you this. Like, the players now are more skilled. There are a lot more shot creators now than there were then. I will give you that. But the thing is, like, we're comparing eras, right? We're comparing eras, which is very tough to do.
I don't think
They're both going to have very different. It is. It's hard to do.
Watch the tape.
It's hard to do that.
Watch the tape.
What do you mean watch the tape? Like, bro, if you look at both of those eras,
who is the equivalent?
One era was more physical than the other. One era was more frequent on the 3-point line. I'm just saying.
And we'll go with that narrative. They had to change the rules for Jordan just so he could beat the Pistons. They had to change the rules for him.
Bro, it's because when he gets in the air, he's getting knocked down. You've never seen LeBron go through that.
LeBron, I'm not arguing.
You've never seen him go through that.
I'm not arguing whatever. If you remove the 6-0 in the finals, if you remove that from the argument,
he's still a defensive player of the year. He still has more MVPs than LeBron. He only shot 2% less than LeBron for 3-point range, not in a 3-point era. And he has a better clutch shooting percentage than LeBron. Jordan is 50% in clutch situations. LeBron is 29%.
Who leads the league?
Who is taking
in playoff buzzer?
Who is taking the last shot? Who's taking the last shot? Jordan or LeBron? Simple question. Who is taking the last shot? You already know what the answer to that is. Who's taking the last shot?
That's a completely different argument, though. We're not
LeBron's more clutch. That's what I'm getting to.
LeBron is because he's more buzzer beaters. He has more regular season buzzer beaters.
But his clutch shooting percentage is not nearly as good as Jordan's. Not even close.
I care about how many times you won the game when the buzzer light went red.
How many Game 7s has LeBron been to? How many Game 7s has Jordan been to? Zero.
Bro, Game 7s.
He's been to zero.
How many times has Jordan played guys that are the same area code as him? How many times has Jordan not been the most athletic player on the floor and the best player on the floor? How many times has that happened?
Never.
Would it be like that today?
But you could say that with LeBron in certain finals.
If prime Jordan came out of a time machine,
yes,
and he
are
you out of your mind?
Yes, he would average 50 in this league, especially with how easy it is and how many foul calls he would get. He'd be on the free throw line all day. All day long, he would live on the free throw line, bro.
To each his own, bro. To each his own. Like okay. What does Jordan do better than LeBron?
He's a better on-ball defender than LeBron James.
Okay, what else?
He's a better scorer than LeBron James.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is. 100%.
No, he's not.
100%. His career averages are way higher than LeBron James.
Who leads the league in scoring?
Bro, don't use that.
That is what it is.
Don't use that. LeBron's played 6 more years than Jordan. Come on. So you're going to say okay, if I were to bring up the argument. No, Jordan has a 32-point per game average in his career. Does LeBron even have that? No.
Bro, longevity should go into it. Longevity should absolutely go into it. You don't want to talk about
Jordan. But Jordan plays 6 less years.
39? What was Jordan doing at 39? What was he doing?
He retired twice, and I'm not saying Jordan. Jordan was bad, but he's still averaging 20 a game. That's a wash, Jordan.
On winning.
If you're comparing, if LeBron is better at a certain age than Jordan, and you put LeBron's age now and Jordan's age now, of course LeBron's better. Of course we can say that at this age. At a certain particular age, but when we talk about the GOAT of basketball, Jordan is the... No, it's not.
How?
It's not.
LeBron has more points. LeBron has more assists. He has more steals. He has more rebounds. Do I have to...
Jordan has a defensive player of the year. Does LeBron have that?
Yeah, well, Dwight Howard has 3 defensive players of the year.
Because he's a center and that he's a defensive guy. That's his game.
Bro, Bro,
That's his game.
I'm glad that Jordan has all the hardware. That's awesome. He has the chips. He has the defensive player of the years.
And notice how I haven't brought up the 6 rings once in this argument. Just notice that.
You brought up percentages, but the percentages
exactly.
don't negate the fact that LeBron has more buzzer beaters. He has more clutch time points, regardless of the percentage.
How many of those buzzer beaters are in the playoffs?
He leads league history in, look that up right now, the most playoff buzzer beaters in NBA history.
But who has the better percentage in the clutch? Who has the better percentage? I just told
But
you.
in the clutch, that's the totality. That's regular season games. That's not just postseason.
No, most of Jordan's clutch situations were in the playoffs.
Well, then how come LeBron has more playoff buzzer beaters?
Well, then maybe he just has more playoff buzzer beaters.
3. Thank you. Okay. Is 5 more than 3? Oh, okay. Anyways, so the clutch thing, throw that out the window. He has the most points of all time. Better rebounder.
I don't like the
passer,
points, though.
Better passer.
Because we all know if Jordan never retired and played his whole way,
We don't know.
LeBron would be chasing Jordan 100%.
We don't know that.
100% he would.
We don't know that because it never happened. It's a hypothetical. Just like if LeBron played with Miami or never got drafted to Cleveland, he had more rings than Jordan. It's all hypothetical. All of it is.
Sure, it is
Okay.
hypotheticals.
Yeah.
We could get into hypotheticals and the GOAT debate all day long.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll revisit this in a future
100%.
pod.
I love it.
We're not done. We got unfinished business here, but we're gonna finish the pod out. This is Skyler Blaine. You already know he's on the pod. I'm your host Jackson Burleson. Hit the like button, subscribe. You've been listening to another episode of Take Podcast. Take care.
Talk to me, baby. Talk to me nice. I'm from another world, baby, yeah. Red wave paradise. They think I'm way too cold, cause I put my heart